A Millionaire's heartwarming prank revealed a hidden diva. Discover the incredible transformation. In the quiet, modest suburb of Chicago, there was a diner that held the dreams of a hard-working single mother and her talented daughter, where every plate was served with love and the scent of hope. Harriet, a 35-year-old waitress, bustled about the small establishment, her smile as bright as the neon lights flickering outside. Life was tough, the bills piled high like the orders on a busy Saturday morning, yet her laughter was the melody that kept them afloat. In the corner of the diner, her 16-year-old daughter Mia sang a soulful tune, her voice weaving through the clinking of dishes and chatter of patrons, captivating anyone who paused to listen. Then, just like that, in walked George, a wealth-filled whirlwind known for his playful pranks. He was drawn in by the inviting atmosphere, and as Mia's voice flooded his senses, he felt an almost magnetic pull. Little did Harriet know, the charming millionaire had plans that would shake the very foundation of their lives. As he sat down with a grin, he conjured up a scheme that mixed humor with heartfelt intentions. He would pose as a food critic, crafting reviews that would spark a local flavor explosion, turning their humble diner into the talk of the town. As the days went by, the diner transformed. Customers flocked in, drawn by rumors of Harriet's fabled dishes. But instead of gratitude, Harriet felt pressure tightening around her heart like a vice. Each plate served felt like a burden, the weight of her child's dreams now too heavy to carry alone. "Mom, I can handle this," Mia would say, but Harriet's worried eyes betrayed her faith in their struggle. Torn between wanting to nurture Mia's passion and keeping their lives stable, misunderstandings bubbled to the surface. "You don't get it, Harriet. You're too busy worrying." Mia's voice cracked, frustration spilling over, igniting an emotional rift neither could fully comprehend. Just when tension soared to a boiling point, George revealed his true identity. "I'm not just a critic. I'm here to help," he said, waving a hand as he explained his intentions. He offered to mentor Mia, but the fulcrum of that offer rested on one crucial condition: they had to confront their fears and insecurities about each other and themselves. "It's not about being famous. It's about knowing your worth," he urged, lifting the weight of expectations off their shoulders just a little. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. Under the weight of those words, Harriet felt herself faltering. Could she ever let go of her fears? Would Mia be willing to embrace her dreams without feeling the suffocating pressure that accompanied them? As they faced each other, vulnerability crackling in the air, they began to see each other in a new light. The diner, once a cage of expectations, transformed into a stage for their dreams, filled with community members eager to support them. Would they find the courage to transform their relationship and themselves in the process? Though the journey ahead felt uncertain, Harriet took a deep breath, determination flickering inside her. This was just the beginning. As the soft light of dawn crept through the diner's windows, Mia sat at a table, scribbling lyrics in a worn notebook. The pages were filled with her hopes, each word curving with the promise of her dreams. Harriet watched her from behind the counter, a pot of coffee brewing fiercely, and the sight filled her with both pride and fear. What if Mia's dreams soared too high, leaving her behind? As she poured a cup, Mia looked up and grinned. "Mom, you've got to hear this new song. It's all about breaking free." Her voice rang with excitement that echoed in the little space they called home. Harriet's heart ached at the thought of it. Questions flooded her mind. What if breaking free means leaving me behind? But she swallowed her fears. "I can't hold her back, can I?" "Mia," she called out, hesitating. "Tell me more about it." Mia's eyes brightened. "It's about finding your voice. Like you taught me, remember?" Harriet nodded, recalling those countless nights spent singing along to old records, teaching Mia to embrace her talent. "Then let us sing it together tonight at the diner," Harriet suggested, inspired by the moment. It was an idea that hung between them, both thrilling and terrifying. Suddenly, the diner door swung open with a jingle, and a group of familiar faces stepped in. It was the community, drawn by the bustling energy of the place. They filled every booth and counter, the air bursting with laughter and conversation. The same laughter that had once felt strained now rippled with warmth. "Harriet! What's today's special?" One patron shouted cheerfully, while another exclaimed, "Mia, are you ready to sing tonight?" The regulars had taken to Mia's music with adoration, and that support lit a fire in Harriet's chest. Yet, lurking behind that warmth was a shadow. How much responsibility could Mia take on before she lost herself in expectations? As the morning rush continued, there was George, perched at his usual corner table, a smirk dancing on his lips. He was enjoying this stage play unfolding before him, watching their struggles and triumphs. When he caught Harriet's eye, he mouthed, "You're doing great," a subtle reminder that her worries were only in her head. Yet, beneath that reassurance, doubt crept in. Could she balance Mia's dreams with reality? As she moved methodically, serving pancakes and coffee, Harriet's thoughts spiraled. In the afternoon lull, she finally approached Mia, her heart thumping. "Honey, are you sure you want to sing tonight? It's a big leap." Mia paused, her pen hovering over the page, looking up with a mix of determination and youthful naivete. "Mom, maybe we need this leap. Don't you?" Harriet hesitated, feeling the air thick with their unspoken fears. "What if you don't want to be in the spotlight when the moment arrives?" Mia's gaze softened, understanding the real concern. "But what if I do?" She countered softly, squeezing Harriet's hand. Their eyes locked, where anxiety and hope clashed fiercely. The din of the diner faded for just a heartbeat, replaced by their silent connection. "That's the risk we both might have to take," Harriet finally whispered. As night fell, the diner glowed warmly under its familiar neon lights, but inside, it felt alive, every table abuzz with chatter, every corner a whisper of excitement. Would Mia step into the spotlight and embrace her dreams, or would the fear of failure hold her back? With George's words echoing in her mind, Harriet felt the weight of that moment shift. It was more than just performing. It was about finding their place in the world and embracing who they truly were. As they prepared for the evening ahead, the stage was set, but would their hearts be ready? With a deep breath, Harriet took her place beside Mia at the mic. They were ready. Or were they? The first note rang out, and the diner fell silent. The first note echoed through the diner, a trembling sound that hung in the air. For a moment, everything felt suspended. The flickering neon lights, the eager faces turned toward the stage, even the clinking of forks and knives seemed to fade. Mia's heart raced wildly, each beat a drumroll of hope and fear. She looked at her mother, their eyes locked in an understanding that transcended the noise. This was it. The moment they had both been waiting for. Harriet nodded, a small smile breaking through her anxiety as she squeezed Mia's hand once more. Mia inhaled deeply, letting the moment wash over her. The audience shifted, their anticipation palpable. Then, she strummed the guitar chord that pulled the room back into focus. The sound filled the space like magic, igniting a spark of energy among the patrons. "Here we go," she said, her voice steadying as she launched into the verses, her lyrics weaving a tale of liberation and self-discovery. Each line spilled from her lips, the worries of tomorrow melting away like ice on a summer day. Harriet's heart swelled with pride as she stood beside Mia, their voices intertwining like the threads of a beautiful tapestry. She caught glimpses of familiar faces in the crowd, old friends, supportive neighbors, and even George, who wore a grin that seemed to beam encouragement. But as Mia poured her heart into the performance, a wave of uncertainty washed over Harriet. What if this moment was a turning point? What if it changed everything? Mia was finding her voice, but what did that mean for their connection? The thought made her stomach flutter. As they hit the chorus, Mia's voice grew stronger, vibrant with unrestrained emotion. The crowd cheered, clapping in rhythm. Each burst of applause wrapped around Harriet, filling her with warmth and a sense of community she desperately needed. Mia cast a quick glance at Harriet, her smile radiant amidst the glow of the overhead lights. In that fleeting moment, Harriet caught a glimpse of the girl Mia was becoming, a remarkable force of talent and passion. But she also saw the shadow of her own fears, worried that Mia might one day want more than her small-town life. The song faded into a gentle strum, and silence settled over the diner, leaving hearts pounding with exhilaration. Mia took a moment to soak it all in, her breath coming in quick bursts. "Thank you, everyone," she beamed, beaming with a youthful glow. The applause grew louder, washing over her like waves crashing on the shore. Then George stood up and cheered, once more. "We want more." Harriet's heart soared. There it was, the fierce love from the community embracing not just Mia's talent but their journey together, too. Yet, with every roar of applause, the nagging question loomed. What would be the cost of this success? Moments later, Mia announced her new song with a sparkle in her eye. "This one is about finding the strength to be true to yourself." But just as she began to strum the opening notes, a figure entered the diner, overshadowed by a heavy aura. Tall and imposing, he sauntered toward the stage, a smirk twitching at his lips. Harriet's stomach dropped. Who was this man? What did he want? In that moment, everything shifted. The crowd's excitement morphed into confusion, whispers rippling through the many listeners as eyes turned toward the newcomer. Who is he? Harriet thought, feeling a mix of intrigue and dread. As Mia's voice trembled ever so slightly, Harriet felt the weight of protection sink onto her shoulders. The crowd was alive, but so was danger. What lay ahead was unclear. Would dreams flourish, or would shadows emerge to darken their night? As the tension thickened in the diner, Mia looked at her mom with wide, uncertain eyes. And Harriet stood ready, determined to confront whatever this new challenge presented, knowing that the real test was about to begin. The man stepped closer, his presence causing a ripple of unease through the audience. He wore a slick suit, the kind that screamed high stakes and power. A palpable silence descended as the music faded, replaced by hesitant murmurs and shifting bodies. Who is he? Harriet whispered to herself, her protective instincts kicking into overdrive. Mia's hands faltered on the strings, the rhythm slipping away like sand through fingers. "Mia!" Someone shouted from the back, trying to lift the mood, but the energy had shifted. The man continued his approach, a confident swagger to his step. "Mia, honey, just keep playing," Harriet urged under her breath, gripping the edge of the stage. But before Mia could find her footing, the man reached the mic. "And here we are. The little star of our small town," he announced, his voice a smooth baritone with a tinge of mockery. "I've been looking forward to this. I'm Jordan Steele, by the way." He flashed a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. The murmurs grew louder, and a few gasps escaped the lips of patrons who recognized his name, the heir to a prominent music label. Harriet felt anger boiling within her. What was he doing here? Invading the moment they held so dearly? "Just wanted to come and see what all the fuss was about," he continued, leaning casually against the stage. "And to see if maybe I could talk to you after your performance." Mia's eyes met Harriet's, wide with confusion and fear, seeking reassurance that she could finish what she started. With a nod, Harriet pushed through the anxiety surging in her chest. This was Mia's moment, not his. "Let us finish the song, okay?" Harriet called softly but firmly. Mia took a deep breath, finding some solace in her mother's steady gaze. The crowd, sensing the tension, began to rally. "Play it, Mia!" An enthusiastic voice cried, eliciting nods and whispers of agreement. A flicker of determination sparked within her. Mia repositioned her fingers on the guitar, the chord felt familiar and comforting. She let the music roll back in, injecting her soul into each note. As she sang, Harriet watched the hesitation melt away. Mia's voice grew, blooming into a cascade of sound that twirled deliciously around the diner. With every line, it was as if she was declaring that she wouldn't be overshadowed. Harriet's heart surged with pride, mingling with the bittersweet ache of knowing the stakes were higher now. But Jordan stood unfazed, a predatory grin clinging to his lips, as if assessing his next move rather than enjoying the performance. "Nice tune, sweetheart," he called out, deliberately loud enough for everyone to hear. "But I bet you'd want a real audience for that kind of talent." Mia faltered again, a crack in her newfound confidence. The crowd shifted, uncertain how to react. Harriet could feel their collective breathing. Voices were lost in the atmosphere thick with tension. Then, from the back of the diner, an older man stood tall, his face lined with wisdom gained through years of love and hard work. "You've got the audience right here. We believe in her," he shouted, his voice steady and full of heart. Cheers erupted, echoing through the space like thunder. It was more than just encouragement, it was validation. Harriet felt the strength of the community surge forward, wrapping around both her and Mia like a comforting embrace. Mia's head lifted, and she straightened her back. "Thank you. This one is for all of you," she declared, pouring her spirit into the next verse. As the crescendo rolled through, Harriet met Jordan's gaze head-on. The warmth of the diner contrasted sharply with the cold distance in his eyes. What was he really after? Harriet's resolve hardened. She wouldn't let this stranger disrupt Mia's dreams. Not now. Not ever. Because dreams aren't just fragile things, they're weapons of resilience. As the song ended with an electrifying finale, the crowd erupted. Cheers and applause washed over Mia, a tidal wave of love, drowning out the young billionaire's distracting presence. But just as Mia basked in the afterglow of her moment, Harriet saw Jordan pull out a business card, waving it in front of her. One look and Harriet knew, this wasn't over. What did he have planned? And would she have to protect Mia from more than just whispered comments and veiled threats? As Mia smiled, her heart still racing, Harriet's gut churned with a familiar unease. The weight of impending choices lingered. Would they be enough to keep the shadows at bay? The applause seemed to fill the diner for an eternity, drowning Mia in warmth. She scanned the crowd, soaking in their love and energy, but her smile faltered when she caught sight of Jordan standing there, the business card flickering like a warning in his hand. The atmosphere, once saturated with joy, now hung heavy with uncertainty. "Mia, that was amazing!" Someone shouted from the front row, but the sound felt muted, swallowed by the looming presence of the man in the suit. Harriet could sense the shift in the room. It was no longer just a celebration but a battleground. "Mia, we need to talk," Jordan said, stepping forward, his tone smooth yet commanding. "No, she doesn't." Harriet interjected, muscles tensed. "You have no right to interrupt her moment." He raised an eyebrow, feigning innocence. "I think you misunderstand, Mrs. Summers. I'm not here to ruin anything." Mia's heart raced, a lump forming in her throat as she gathered the courage to address him directly. "What do you want, really? You're not here to compliment me, are you?" Her voice, once filled with doubt, now held an edge that surprised even her. Jordan's smile grew wider. "Just an opportunity, Mia. You've got a real talent there, and I think it deserves a platform." The words hung in the air, and the crowd buzzed with speculation. Harriet felt a mixture of unease and anger swell in her chest. "And at what cost?" she asked, her voice firm. "You think you can waltz in here and take her dreams?" Jordan glanced at her, surprised at her fire. "I'm offering her a way to achieve those dreams." "Isn't that what you want for her? A way that you'll control?" Harriet shot back, her protective instincts flaring. Despite the warmth of the diner, his icy gaze made her skin crawl. Mia hesitated, caught in the crossfire. She felt her mother's tension, the weight of expectations pressing down on her. "What kind of opportunity?" she asked cautiously, curiosity blending with anxiety. An audition. My label could use fresh talent like yours, Jordan declared. Imagine what that could mean for your future. The words danced in her mind, igniting a flicker of hope but tinged with fear. It would be a chance yet shrouded in uncertainty. Think of all the places you could go, Mia, he continued, leaning closer, his tone dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. You wouldn't have to stay here forever. You could be more. More than what? Harriet challenged, her voice breaking through the moment like a beacon. More than the person you've always been. More than who we are. This town believes in her, Jordan. It's not about abandoning your roots, he replied smoothly, brushing off her concerns. I'm simply offering a chance to shine where the world can see you. The crowd had gone silent, breaths held in anticipation. Every eye was glued to Mia, as if she were their sun, shining brighter than simply being a girl in a diner. She took a deep breath, weighing her mother's fierce protectiveness against the dream she had nurtured for so long. A world beyond this small town whispered to her, but was it worth the risk? Let me think about it, Mia finally said, her voice steady yet uncertain. Oh, you'll have to think fast, sweetheart, he smirked. Opportunities like this don't wait forever. As he walked away, the air seemed to turn electric, charged with possibilities and the daunting weight of choices. Harriet squeezed Mia's hand, grounding her amidst the storm brewing inside. Do you really want this, Mia? She asked softly, concern etched on her face. You don't have to rush into anything. I have to figure out what this means, Mia replied, her gaze drifting, lost in a world of what-ifs, with the echoes of applause still lingering. Harriet felt the churning uncertainty settle in their hearts. What would Mia decide? And would the lure of the bigger world blind her to the beauty right in front of her? As they turned to exit the diner, the door swung open, and a gust of wind rushed in, carrying with it the whispers of dreams, both realized and lost. Would Mia take the leap into the unknown, or would she choose to stand her ground in the love and familiarity of home? The question hung in the air, heavy and unresolved, leaving them both searching for an answer. The chatter in the diner picked back up, but it felt distant to Mia. The warmth of the applause slowly dissipated, replaced by a cold uncertainty that tangled tightly in her stomach. She could still see Jordan's confident smirk, the way he leaned closer, as if sharing a secret just for her. You could be more, he'd said. The words echoed through her mind, igniting an internal struggle she didn't know how to articulate. Hey, are you okay? Harriet's voice broke through her cloud of thoughts. Mia turned to look at her mother, who wore an expression of worry. I don't know, Mom, Mia admitted, one hand gripping the edge of the table as if it could stabilize her racing heartbeat. I mean, what if this is my chance? The idea of leaving her small town was both thrilling and terrifying. Harriet opened her mouth to respond, but the sudden arrival of their regulars distracted her. Two older ladies, both holding cups of coffee like lifebuoys, shuffled to the table, eyes bright with excitement. Mia. You were absolutely fantastic. I can't believe that voice of yours. One exclaimed, her face aglow with admiration. Thanks. That means a lot, Mia replied, forcing a smile. She plastered it on, even as the confusion inside her churned like a storm at sea. Well, you must go for that audition. You deserve to be heard beyond this little diner. The second woman chimed in, her eyes glistening with enthusiasm. You have a gift. Don't let it go to waste. Their words, meant to be encouraging, only brought her feelings of uncertainty into sharper relief. Could she really take that leap? Did she even want to? Just remember to stay true to yourself, honey, Harriet said softly, squeezing Mia's hand tighter. You don't have to prove anything to anyone, especially not to someone like him. Her voice was firm, yet laced with love, a lifeline in the rising tide of Mia's thoughts. I know, but what if this is the opportunity I've been waiting for? Mia countered, an edge creeping into her tone. What if I could have everything I've always dreamed of? An uncomfortable silence fell as the two older ladies exchanged glances, sensing the deeper conversation. Well, sweetie, whatever you choose, we'll be here for you, one of them offered, a knowing smile on her face. Mia blinked back, the uncertainty welling in her eyes. Life in the diner was safe, filled with familiar faces and shared memories, but the dreams she tucked away were more than just a whisper now. In that moment, as the diners milled around them, the reality of her choices spread in every direction like ripples on water. As Mia processed the weight of her decision, Jordan appeared again at the edge of the diner. He scanned the room, his gaze eventually locking on hers. There was a confidence in his stride that only deepened her uncertainty. "I'll give you some time, Mia," he said, his voice carrying across the room like a sudden gust of wind. "But remember, every second counts." "Is he serious?" Harriet shook her head in disbelief. "Just like that, he thinks he can come in here and shake things up?" Mia's heart sank. It was more than just an opportunity he was offering, it felt like a test of who she was, of her loyalty to her family and her community. "I'll figure it out, Mom," she said softly, yet the firmness had a crack. The weight of choices loomed heavily over her as the moments dragged on, each ticking second magnifying the internal battle she faced. Would her heart lead her to chase a dream she'd waited for her entire life, or would she decide that home, the love of her mother, and the comfort of the familiar is all she truly wanted? "Mom," she said suddenly, eyes wide. "What if I said yes?" As the words slipped from her lips, a tense excitement surged through the air. Something monumental was brewing, and Mia had just taken her first step into the unknown. What if she stepped forward into that spotlight, leaving everything behind? What would that mean for her relationship with Harriet, for her connection to the town? As the door swung again, bringing in another gust of wind, she felt the clouds in her mind begin to part, revealing a sliver of light and possibility. But was she brave enough to pursue it? The air tightened around her, the diner dimming in contrast to the bright path that lay ahead. Would she choose the dream everyone believed was hers, or would the threads of love and loyalty pull her back before she could even begin? The answers seemed just out of reach, and a new chapter of her story was waiting to unfold. Mia's heart raced. The weight of her words hung in the air like a heavy curtain, coaxing rhythmically toward an uncertain future. A moment ago, she was just Mia from the diner, comfortable, familiar, invisible to the world beyond. Now, she felt alive with possibilities, but every flicker of hope was shadowed by doubt. She glanced at Harriet, who wore a mixture of pride and concern on her face. "Mom, my sweet girl," Harriet interrupted, her voice trembling. "You really think you can do this? That you want to?" I think I have to try," Mia replied, her voice steadier than she felt inside. "But at what cost? This little diner is your home, the anchor in this storm." The voices of the older ladies faded as Mia's world shrank to just her and her mother. "But Mom, if I don't try now, when will I? I'll always wonder, and that might just destroy me." Harriet's grip loosened, but her eyes remained locked onto Mia's. "Sweetheart, listen. You're so gifted. If anyone can do it, it's you. Just remember who you are. The world can be cruel." Mia sensed the flicker of emotion in her mother's gaze. She wasn't just pushing back out of fear. Harriet knew what it felt like to have dreams snatched by circumstance. The thought gave Mia strength. "I promise, I'll stay true to myself." The door creaked open once more, ushering in a cold wave as Jordan strolled inside. He paused just momentarily to scan the room, and their eyes met, a spark igniting something deep in her. Was it anticipation, or was it trepidation? "You ready to chat about that offer?" His confidence wrapped around her like a blanket, yet it felt suffocating all the same. Before she could answer, Harriet rose from her seat, her voice firm and protective. "Mia's not just some project for your amusement, Jordan." He shrugged off the challenge with ease. "I'm not here to play games. I see potential." "Potential?" Harriet scoffed. More like you see a chance to get what you want without considering the consequences. Mia nearly shouted, her voice cracking under the weight of her rising emotion. I need to hear what he has to say. The diner's atmosphere shifted, diners looking up, eyes wide. The tension grew, yet something else flickered below the surface, a sense of unity amongst familiar faces. Mia, you're in control here, one of the older ladies encouraged softly, her smile reassuring. Taking a deep breath, Mia turned back toward Jordan. Okay, let us talk. As they stepped away from the table, the buzz of whispers followed. Harriet met Mia's gaze, a silent communication of trust shared between them. Just be careful, her mother whispered, the love in her eyes both a shield and a sword. They moved to a booth in the far corner, the hum of the diner fading slightly as they settled into a hushed conversation. Jordan leaned in closer, his voice soft but electric. This could change everything for you. Are you ready for that? Mia's heart quickened. Are you really offering me a shot at something bigger, or are you just trying to prove a point? Both, he said, his smirk returning. But I don't think you'll regret it. You have a light that deserves to shine, Mia. Caught off guard, she felt the spark of possibility again, warming her insides. Jordan really saw her, but was it the chance of a lifetime or just another fleeting moment? How do I know this isn't a joke? She challenged, stepping bravely into the unknown. His eyes softened, and for the first time, she sensed sincerity beneath his bravado. You don't. It's all a risk. But so is staying here in this diner forever, isn't it? In that moment, Mia felt everything collapse and rebuild within her: fear, ambition, trust, and the invisible thread that tied her back to home. But what if I fail? Or what if you soar? Jordan countered, leaning back slightly, giving her space but not leaving her side. Unsure of her next move, Mia stared into his eyes, searching, questioning. If she took that leap, would it fly or fall? The weight of her decision loomed ever larger, and she realized everything hinged on her choice. Tell me what I need to do, she said, her voice barely above a whisper, yet the strength behind it was undeniable. The tension in the air shifted again, something ripe and powerful about to break free. As her heart hammered in her chest, she couldn't shake the feeling this moment, this decision, it would change everything. And as Jordan opened his mouth to respond, the weight of her future balancing on the precipice of this simple answer hung in the air like a thread waiting to be cut. Mia, Jordan said, his voice steady yet soft as if he understood the gravity of the moment. I need you to trust me. All you have to do is meet with my team this weekend. Show them what you've got. Mia blinked as the weight of his words sank in. A meeting with his team? Did she even have enough to show them? Every doubt she harbored began to circle like vultures in her mind. What if they think I'm just some small-town girl? What if I embarrass myself? They will see more than a small-town girl. They'll see your passion and your talent. Jordan's intensity ignited a flicker of hope in her stomach. And I'll be right there with you. Mia felt the walls of her familiar world close in around her, the worn wooden booths, the hum of the coffee machine, the laughter of the regulars. Her life was in those moments. But she was standing at the edge of something bigger and scarier than she'd ever imagined. The very air crackled with it. What if I say yes and can't handle it? Then we tackle it together, he said, his eyes unwavering. But you won't know until you try. It's easier to stay comfortable, I get that. But where does that get you in the long run? His words felt like a challenge, an unspoken dare. She flashed back to nights spent dreaming about something more, something different than pouring coffee and flipping pancakes. Mom, she started, looking over her shoulder where Harriet still sat, an uncertain frown on her face. Then it settled, Jordan interjected, cutting through the tension. Come with me this weekend. I'll arrange everything. You'll meet my team, and we'll figure it out together. Just imagine what you could do. What if I fail? She murmured again, her voice barely rising above the diner's buzz. Then you'll learn. But if you want this, you can't back down right now. It's about rising to the occasion. Mia took a deep breath, pulling her courage closer. Okay, I'll think about it. Jordan leaned back, satisfaction radiating from him. That's all I ask. Just think about it. Mia returned to her mother's gaze, searching for reassurance. What do you think? Harriet sighed, the love in her eyes battling with concern. If this is what you truly want, then you have to go for it. Take the leap, Mia. Just remember to stay grounded. No matter where you go, you have roots here. Something inside Mia stirred. The diner, the life she'd built, had been her foundation, but now she felt the call of adventure pulling her. Could she really step into something new? Let go of the old and embrace the unknown? As they both absorbed what was unfolding, the energy around them shifted. The chatter, the clinks of coffee cups, seemed to fade into the backdrop, leaving only the sound of her heart drumming a wild tempo against her chest. Okay, she whispered, her resolve growing. I'll do it. Just then, the door swung open, and in walked a group of newcomers loud and excited. They filled the diner with a raucous energy, drawing attention. It was the kind of lively chaos Mia had loved for years, yet it now felt like they were intruding on a delicate moment. Jordan glanced over. Do you see what I mean? Your light shines, Mia. You just need to let them see it. The respiring crowd, the warmth of the diner, the laughter, all blended together. But within Mia, a flame flickered brighter. What if I actually soar? She mused, daring to hope. Exactly. Let us find out, Jordan replied, his eyes bright with encouragement. As the buzz of excitement filled the air around them, Mia caught Harriet's smile, a mix of pride and fear. Her mother's voice echoed in her head, grounded, yes, but ready to rise. What's one more push into the unknown? But as they sank back into the diner's atmosphere, she was struck with a realization: this weekend wasn't just another chance. It was her moment. Jordan's expression shifted, curiosity sparking. Mia? Yeah? What if there's more to this weekend than meets the eye? That question hung between them, a mystery poised to unravel. Mia felt the thrill curl in her stomach. Let us see what this weekend brings, but deep down, she wondered what if it changed everything she thought she knew. The diner buzzed with chatter as the crowd settled in, laughter slicing through the earlier tension. Mia sat there, heart still racing from her conversation with Jordan. She watched as plates of pancakes and eggs made their way to various tables, each order like another reminder of the life she was used to, the life she might soon leave behind. Mia, you with us? Jordan's voice broke through her thoughts. Yeah, just thinking, she replied, forcing a smile. But her mind was ablaze with questions. What if this weekend revealed a side of her she had never known? What if she was more than just the girl from the diner? Good thoughts or bad? He asked, leaning in closer. Just wondering if I'm ready for this. Jordan nodded knowingly. You're already more ready than you think. You have the talent and the heart. That's all you need. Her heart swelled at his belief in her. Maybe there was truth to what he was saying. Maybe all those nights spent dreaming about something bigger weren't just fantasies but a precursor to a leap she was about to take. Leaving the diner tonight, everything would feel different. Would she still be able to return as if nothing had changed? As if sensing her turmoil, Jordan pulled her hand into his. Hey, look at me. Mia met his gaze, the warmth melting some of her uncertainty. What if I tell them I can't do it? What if I freeze? You won T. You're stronger than that. Remember, I'll be by your side. You're not alone in this. His encouraging words were like a lifeline, pulling her back from the edge of her doubt. Okay. But even as she said it, a pang of panic tickled in her chest. Could that confidence hold up when faced with judgment, with expectations? The door swung open again, and in walked a tall man with an air of authority marked by the tailored jacket and confident stride. He scanned the room and, to Mia's surprise, headed straight for their booth. "Jordan, good to see you." He extended a hand, his voice deep and commanding. "Ryan. Glad you could make it," Jordan said, standing to shake his hand. "Who's this?" Ryan asked, glancing at Mia. "This is Mia," Jordan replied, squeezing her hand. "The artist I told you about." Ryan raised an eyebrow, studying her intently. "The one with real talent, huh?" I think so." Mia stammered, a rush of self-doubt flooding her veins. "Confidence, Mia," Jordan urged, almost as if reading her mind. "I see," Ryan mused, leaning back slightly but keeping his eyes locked on her. "Well, I look forward to seeing what you've got. This weekend should be exciting." Mia's heart sank for a moment. There was something in his tone that hinted at pressure, expectations she had yet to even tap into. But then again, wasn't that the whole point of being there? To step out of her comfort zone? Jordan's hand tightened on hers, grounding her in the moment. "You'll be great," he whispered. At that moment, Mia realized it wasn't just about proving herself to Ryan or his team. It was about discovering who she could truly become. As the bustle of the diner swelled around them, the laughter and bright conversations felt like a distorted echo, fading around the edge of her focus. What if she started, a realization forming? What if what? Jordan prompted, his brow knitted in curiosity. What if I don't just figure it out this weekend? What if I actually find something that's been inside me all along? The look in Jordan's eyes brightened with excitement. "Now you're talking. That's the spirit." A sense of purpose kindled within Mia. For the first time, she felt like she was on the brink of something incredible. But as Ryan made small talk, seemingly keeping an eye on her, Mia couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more at stake this weekend than she had anticipated. What if this is just the beginning? Her thoughts drifted while the diner filled with more laughter, clinks, and chatter. The excitement shimmered like a distant star just out of reach, urging her to chase after it. Little did she know, the weekend would not only challenge her abilities, but also unveil connections she never saw coming, ones that would weave into her journey in ways she couldn't yet imagine. Mia took a breath, steeling herself. Let us see where this leads, but deep down, a flicker ignited in her chest. Was she on the verge of discovering something about herself that might transcend everything she thought she knew? As the weekend dawned bright and promising, the feelings of hope and trepidation danced inside Mia like a restless whirlwind. She could hardly believe she was about to step into a bigger world, one that loomed beyond her small diner. Her heart fluttered with excitement and nerves a cocktail of emotions she hadn't anticipated when she first signed on to this journey. The moment they arrived at the sleek, modern office, Mia felt the echo of every dream she had ever dared to whisper. The polished floors gleamed under bright lights, and the walls adorned with portraits of famous artists only made her heart race quicker. Jordan led them through the sleek corridors, his presence steady and full of confidence. Mia took a moment to breathe, eager to embrace her chance. "Focus on why you wanted this, Mia," he reminded her gently, sensing her doubts. "Remember the girl from the diner who sang her heart out? Let her shine here too." She nodded but felt fear creep up behind her like a shadow. What if they felt she wasn't good enough? What if this dream slipped through her grasp? As they entered a spacious room filled with professionals ready to evaluate her talent, her pulse quickened. Ryan stood nearby, scribbling notes as he prepared to listen. All eyes turned to her, but instead of crippling fear, a warm flame ignited deep within. This was her moment, time to unleash all she had kept hidden. "Mia, you ready?" Jordan asked, his reassuring smile giving her strength. She took a deep breath, allowing memories of her mother's encouragement to cascade through her mind. "I am," she replied, her voice steadying. With a confident step forward, she settled on the stool and adjusted the microphone, the sound creating a familiar buzz that soothed her nerves. As she strummed the first chord, everything around her faded away. The world grew quiet, waiting for her voice to spill out like a wave breaking free from its confines. With each note, she poured her soul into the performance, weaving a narrative of dreams and fears together with a melody that soared. In that moment, she wasn't just the girl from the diner, she was someone shining brighter than she ever thought possible. Applause erupted as her voice enveloped the room. She felt herself being swept up in the rhythm, confidence flooding her veins. The initial uncertainty had transformed into pure exhilaration. Looking toward the back, she spotted Jordan and Ryan nodding appreciatively, their expressions mirrored by the rest of the team who seemed captivated. Even in that sea of faces, she recognized and felt the spirits of her diner patrons cheering her on. When the last note hung in the air, Mia's heart raced with adrenaline, disbelief pooling in her excitement. The applause roared like a crowd at a concert. She grinned brightly, basking in the validation that radiated within her. Each clapping hand felt like a gentle nudge saying she had made the right decision to leap. "Wow," Ryan exclaimed, his eyes glimmering. "You've got a real gift, Mia. This is just the beginning." Jordan beamed, walking over to give her a high five. "That was incredible. You brought the house down." Overwhelmed, tears pricked at Mia's eyes, but she blinked them back, absorbing the magic of the moment. This was what could happen when she chose to chase dreams. This was the potential she had always felt bubbling beneath the surface, now bursting free into the open air. Days later, while the screen illuminating the diner flickered softly with familiar tunes, Mia stood behind the counter serving coffee, a different glow radiating from her. Her heart was still pounding from the thrill of the audition but now melded with a sense of groundedness. Harriet watched on, feeling pride bloom in her chest. Mia had taken the leap, and she embraced every bit of it. "Guess who's finally getting a call back?" Mia exclaimed, her excitement bubbling over as she leaned across the counter, her eyes sparkling with life. Harriet's hands paused, a napkin suspended midair. "You're serious?" "Oh, sweetheart, that's amazing." "I know. They want to see me again. And explore where this can go." Mia twirled around with joy. Moments passed as both women perched on the edge of an emotional wave. Harriet's heart swelled, and she couldn't hold back the tears spilling down her cheeks. "I wish you could feel how proud I am of you. I couldn't have done it without you," Mia whispered, her voice trembling with gratitude. "I'm learning to trust myself more, and I owe that to you, Mom." The diner felt different, infused with renewed energy, lifted by the anticipation of what was to come. Mia and Harriet stood side by side, proud of each other's journeys. Their connection had strengthened, built on the foundation of dreams now shared. As the door swung open, George entered, drawing attention with his vibrant energy. "What have I missed?" he declared, and Mia couldn't help but smile, knowing that life was about more than just the ups and downs. It was about thriving in each moment, in the love they cultivated. Just another miracle in the making. Harriet beamed, and laughter filled the space. Life continued to swirl around them, filled with laughter, light, and hope. Mia knew the journey ahead might still have its challenges, but she also understood that she wouldn't face them alone. The very foundation of their love and resilience would guide her, with dreams intertwined with reality. As she moved toward her bright future, the diner logo shimmered outside their window, a reminder of home, but now, a home filled with infinite possibilities, and in that moment, she whispered silently to herself, "I'll soar. Just watch me." Now, listen. If you felt this incredible transformation, you need to subscribe to the channel immediately. Hit like now to show your support and to feed the algorithm. Leave a comment sharing your reactions and feelings about this journey. And please, share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to share. Your support makes all the difference.